Why is there a pride flag on your camera?
What?
There was a pride flag. I saw like RGB thing.
Yeah, that's because it's for the fucking lens, Kenny.
What's up, guys? We are back. This is fucking day 6. Been here for a minute. Day 6 is the last day of SHOT Show, but we are not going to SHOT Show. We're gonna be going somewhere. And where is that, Jamie?
HSL Ammunition.
HSL Ammunition. Are we sponsored by them? If we are sponsored by them, there'll be a cutaway right now. Did we? Did we make it? Did we make the cut? I don't know if we did it or not, but if we did, we'll be sponsored by them. We're gonna go visit their factory with Mr. Desktop, and we'll see how it goes. See you guys in a bit. So, I'm a bad YouTuber and I forgot to film our ad spots, so we pulled over on the side of the road. So, big thank you to SiegeKraft. We're doing a review on the SGK5 coming out soon. More to come. Another big shout out to Advanced Reset Tech. Use code KennyIsTall to save 10%. Can't tell you where, but you know the name of the company. And if everything goes right, possible HSL sponsor? Here, just plug your code. If they don't sponsor me, you use this.
If you don't use code, please, it's because you're.
All right, then. Enjoy the view. Now back to the video. All right, y'all. We are 15 minutes away from HSL. We're about to be there. Let's go.
Yes.
Alright guys, we have magically teleported to the great state of Utah. We're here in St. George taking a tour of the HSL factory. Holy crap, I never in my life would I think I'd be touring an ammo factory, but let's go take a look.
So we include a couple of stickers with packages, and one of our favorite ones is this cool lion. So if you see right here, it actually reads in Latin. It says Hic Sunt Leones, and that's what the HSL stands for. And that directly translates to Here There Are Lions. And so it's a tribute to the 2A community, because a lion is somebody who takes, they're protecting their pack, they're protecting their pride, they're protecting their home. So if you're a person who's out and training and practicing and exercising your right to constitutionally own a firearm, you're a lion. You're protecting your community. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why my personal philosophy is, if you're someone who's taking charge of your own safety, here there are lions. So we'll get big Gaylords like this in. This is one that was a pre-sorted 9mm, but we'll get them in from the public ranges that'll have everything from 12 gauge to 30-06, 22s to 9mm. And so this trommel right here knocks out the dust and dirt and debris. Like, look at all this stuff.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I would say probably 50% of that's probably gunpowder.
Yeah, that's gunpowder.
Yeah, because when your round goes off, all of it actually doesn't burn. So that's like really flammable. 50% is dirt and carbon and the other stuff. And then it lets your 22s fall through, and then it magnetizes the steel case. So you're left with non-ferrous. From there, we go down our roll sorter right here, and it's 2 rollers that open up over time.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So the rollers are rolling, and then it allows the rounds to fall at different increments.
Mm-hmm.
So we go small to large, so like 22 and 25 auto and 5.7, 30 carbine, 9, 223, 40, 45. You get what I'm saying.
Very similar to like a coin sorter.
Yeah, exactly. So this separates down, and we get it into like the rough families. From the rough families, we throw them into these bowls, and they vibrate and stand them up and sort them off by height or length. And so over here, this one sorts our 223 from blackout and 380. Here's some of our pistol calibers, so you can see, like, look how it actually stands them up. Mm-hmm. So they fall, and then it vibrates, and there's a magnet that just sits there and hits. So those actually run around and then hit these trips and then fall off.
Oh, okay.
So pretty cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
This is stuff that hasn't been washed yet. This is a batch that's been processed, that's getting ready for a wash. But this is the raw stuff. So our drum dumper lifts it up, dumps it into the washer, it does a part-on-part wash. So the parts with a simple detergent, it's a non-toxic detergent, and we'll just wash it. It gets all the carbon off of it, polishes them off, gets the dust, dirt off of it, drops in. This is just a vibratory corn cob polisher. So they take corn cobs, crush them down. If you've seen the polishing media for reloaders.
Yeah. I think we saw that at SHOT Show,
Actually, yeah, you can see some of it on the ground. It just naturally kind of like makes its way around as things are vibrating and stuff hits and falls and stuff. But we run it, dries, and then these screens sequentially just help shake and vibrate it because some of them rotate, some of them are decks, and then some of them rotate it. And then it comes out. We have a conveyor. We'll park a 55-gallon drum right here. Comes out, and you'll see it ends up looking brand new again. You can see the flow. So it starts in the back, comes through.
Oh, yeah.
So still got the spent primer in it. So that is once fired, now getting ready to start the process. When your machines hold the bottom, that extractor groove, when you hold the bottom of it, the die can't go all the way down. So in order to size that last 5-10%, these are our roll sizers right here, where we're roll sizing the base of the cartridge. So these come in here, and that wheel just rolls them. Let's see. You can kind of see where it makes a little bit of impact, not much. We're out of brass until our next batch comes in. We roll size it, and then we go over and we add a simple lubrication on it to limit the friction on the dies. And then it comes down, and this is what we call processing right here. This is the processing area.
So this is like for when you use the brass, there's some slight expansion is to make it.
Correct.
Okay, awesome.
So if you imagine, so when your primer hits, that explosion happens, that expansion happens, your brass flexes to seal the chamber. And that's what allows the gas seal for your projectile to go. As the pressure decreases, the expansion lets go, and that allows the extractor to pull it out. So it's mind-blowing how much physics happens in like milliseconds.
Yeah.
Like brass has to be durable enough to not come apart under up to sometimes 50,000 PSI, you know what I mean? Or more sometimes.
Yeah.
But it has to be flexible enough to expand, strong enough to handle the pressure, and workable enough to make it into the shape itself and last and come out of the chamber. The physics and the engineering behind all of it, the years of creation and design, I think people take for granted like really how cool the modern smokeless cartridge is.
Oh yeah. My ADD loves this. I'm so like hyper fixated.
So here we're knocking out the spent primer, sizing the case down, checking to make sure that it's not deformed, and then the machine spit the cases out if they're bad, and then this one's trimming in the rear. So these little arms, see that? They didn't deprime, so they must have had a really, really tight primer pocket, like too much sealant on the primer, and the machine couldn't knock it out, so we reject it and we just recycle it. And then if it gets through and there's anything wrong with the neck, then it spits out and goes down the other way.
So there's quality control
Every single step. And then the guys are checking the trim and the size throughout the whole time. So we have a Sheridan case gauge to make sure everything's staying correct. And then he's got some really expensive calipers right there. So right now he's gonna check the overall length and make sure every machine is staying in spec. The guys do this dozens of times in hours. So we don't run throughout the day. The guys are checking throughout the whole time, making sure everything's staying consistent. So processing is now done, and the guys will go wash it, and we're getting ready to put a new primer in. So go through a wash again, and then gets wheeled over here to prime. This can do about 15,000 9mm an hour. It's like
1,000 an hour.
Yeah.
Crazy. What?
That's processed, ready for primer.
Awesome.
I mean, like, in my humble opinion, I think it looks as good as new or better. You know what I mean? Because it's actually shiny now. It's polished.
Can I take one of these?
Absolutely. If you want a couple pieces, grab a handful.
Don't mind if I do.
Yeah. These are pallets of projectiles from berries. So every single pallet has about 100,000 rounds in it. We get 6 to 10 pallets every Thursday. Go through that every week. The machines go through so much brass. We've actually had these these elevators made to fill up so he can focus on keeping the machines running and not just sitting there throwing scoops.
That's crazy.
So the primed rounds come off. They'll take the ready to load brass and we wheel it over to loading. Yeah. Wow. We've got that saying throughout the shop several times because we want the guys to remember how important it is. Because what are we doing here? What are we actually selling? And like we discussed earlier, we're not just selling ammo. We're selling somebody's safety. You know what I mean? Whether you're a business owner, a church, a young lady, whatever it may be, you're selling somebody's experience. They might just be training with it, but you never know. You know what I mean? And it even reflects on the guys. Like if you're running the forklift and you're being irresponsible, you know, act like your life depends on it because somebody else's might. Like be respectful of the team, be respectful of the customer, make sure that you're committed in doing a good job. We do recycle all the cardboard, so I was kind of joking about that. You know what I mean? So these are our big alpha loaders. These ones we're doing about how much an hour on one of these right now? About 5,000?
Yeah, about.
These run about 5,000 rounds an hour. They automatically case gauge, so it probes the round. It'll do, and if there's no obstruction, like you know, you might have a piece of paper or something that made it in. They check the cartridge. If it's clear, it dumps powder, and you can see the powder slide activating here in a second. Back there in the back. It's powder slide, and then it has 2 powder check sensors. It has to pass 2 powder checks. Okay. Over there, if it passes both, then it puts the round on, seats the round, crimps the round, and then we have a case gauge. And if it detects anything wrong with the round, it automatically rejects it.
Wow, okay, yeah.
So it might have a crack or it didn't seat good enough.
There's nothing wrong with that one.
Nothing even wrong with that. It might have just vibrated a little bit and hit the sensor off a little bit. So the reason why we don't have the 9mm set together is one of these is our 9mm 124 competition load and 115. So we're doing it so nothing can cross-contaminate. We keep them segregated.
Joseph got his favorite
Yeah.
competition bow.
Back here is our less common calibers that we're making in less volume. 40, 45, 300 blackout, 380, 38 special. So this is our 55 hollow point.
Oh,
Yeah. Right?
Can I have one?
Yeah, grab a handful.
Oh, yo, these are so cool.
Okay, I've never actually held like bullets before.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
It's mind-blowing how small a 223 actually is.
Yeah.
Now, we do so much 9mm, we've had to automate our quality control. So this machine, you can see it's feeding the conveyors. There's a camera up there scanning the primer. And then inside this box, there's an 8 laser array that measures every round 260 times. And it can reject it whole. It only opens if it's good. And it might not even mean that the rounds are bad. It might mean that the rounds are too small. So we're gonna re-QC anything that goes through there, and 75% of what's in there is still gonna be good. We're just gonna look and make sure it didn't knock it out because of a nick or a ding, like some reason that it was out of spec. So
Yeah.
these are only our A grade, and there's some A grade that'll be in there, but we're just gonna re-QC it.
Exactly.
Yep. But this can do 360 rounds a minute. So we do 18,000 rounds an hour. Like that's the one thing that I think is cool is like, people are like, oh, I don't want to give you away your secrets. I'm like, we're following all the same specs and standards and we're all buying the same equipment. I think a lot of it comes down to is what tolerances do you accept at the end? What do you let go out the door? That's what differentiates. You can up your quality by buying good components, but we're all buying the same powder from like Hodgdon or, you know, Lubbock. Like there's only like 3 or 4 powder companies in the whole world. You know, there's more, but the big ones. Most companies are using the same stuff. what standards do you hold yourself to? That's what really matters. This is a good metric of those standards is over here. I'm gonna let the guys see you QC a couple. So we don't batch check. We literally check every single round.
Wow.
So we don't do 10% and then, intermittently pull 10% to make sure everything's staying in spec. Literally every single round gets inspected. Every single one. So what John's doing right here is he's actually looking to make sure that, because we'll buy some of the brass from, so just like a couple of little nicks and dings. And that's probably even a little bit more sensitive than I would worry about. I might have left in there, but that's gonna be considered a blem now. So we knock it down a couple of cents and it goes great through a machine gun. Nothing wrong with the round, because we have the rounds that are out of spec that aren't safe to shoot.
Yeah.
We tear those down for components, and then we have our B grade that's good for machine guns.
See, I need a lot. I shoot too many FRTs, unfortunately. So
Dude, and this is exactly like this.
that's
stuff.
exactly it. Yeah.
And the reason why we worry about this is you eat with your eyes first. Somebody comes and serves you a delicious A5 Wagyu steak. If they bring it out on a paper plate, it brings it down. Presentation's everything. So if somebody's sweating how it looks, if they're worried about the little stuff, they're worried about the big stuff. So we want to make sure the little details are noticed and we're not just pushing crap out the door.
Hey, that's A1 marketing optics right there.
So this is the ammo tray loading machine. So this trays the ammos. Everything else is done by hand that's in lower quantity, which is good because the setup time on that machine to go from 380 to 40 to 45 to 38 special and back and forth, it would just kill us. So we leave that set up for 9 mil. Everything else gets done by hand, which gives us the flexibility to go from batch to batch, caliber to caliber. Every single round has a batch tag on it that traces the source of brass, the load we use, which then if we ever have a customer service issue or we really fall in love with something, we're tracing it back to the source of brass, the projectile, the powder, the primer, everything.
Every box, I believe I got some too. Yeah.
Yeah, every box is tracked.
Okay, awesome.
It tracks the load operator who loaded it. It tracks when it was QC'd and by who QC'd it, everything. Every step is documented and then put into our system. So that way, if somebody's like, hey man, I love that ammo, great. We can find out, and like try to get somebody something that's working.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody ever has an issue, we can go back and find out if a system failed, a machine failed, an employee failed, or maybe there's a bad batch of primers that we got.
To locate the bad batch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is packaging and shipping. So the guys are packaging the rounds and shipping them over here. Outgoing boxes right here. It's so heavy that some days we'll have 4 or 5 pallets of ammo shipping out.
Yeah.
We go through FedEx drivers. They quit working. They're just like, I hate those people. Because they literally roll up the door when they pull up and they see a bunch of pallets and they go, ugh. They're like, because they're just lugging ammo.
Yeah.
So over the years, we've had to try and help that. So we started dedicating employees to loading the trucks. We get certain pallets that could fit right in between their shelves.
Yeah.
And even then, them having to slide it in the truck and then unload it got so dedicated. The best solution they found is they're like, can we leave a trailer at your building?
That's so.
So now we load the pallets in the truck. So it saves them 2 or 3 handlings. So they were kind enough to gift us a trailer to use. And so every day we load up and they come and swap out with a fresh trailer.
That's awesome.
So we want to make sure people have a pleasant experience. They feel like a priority. Because there's a lot of really good companies out there.
Yeah.
So if we don't treat the customers right, we're going to lose them to another good company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
When I first started, I had the philosophy of only shooting new ammunition.
Yeah.
I just have heard horror stories about remanufactured ammo, but after being, purchasing ammo for, at least for me at my age, I'm 24, so budget is very huge.
Yeah.
And so it just got so expensive that I had to look at purchasing remanufactured ammunition. And being, you guys all have some of the best prices on the market.
Thank you.
And with that, I've shot a lot of your guys' ammo, and it's just been consistency, and it has really changed my perspective on remanufactured ammo.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
You guys are doing a great job. This has been awesome. Thank
Heck
you
yeah.
for giving me a tour of this facility.
Yeah, Kenny, man. Dude, thanks for coming in,
Dude,
brother.
of course, dude. This is so cool to me. I never in my life I would think I would get a tour at an ammunition facility like
Dude,
this.
our pleasure, man.
Yeah.
We're excited.
All right, guys, that was absolutely awesome. A big shout out to Spencer. Thank you so much for letting us tour the HSL factory. I learned a lot, especially about how ammo is remanufactured at such high quality. Because remember, when I first got into it, it was like new ammo, new ammo, new ammo. You know, you're taught to be skeptical of reloaded, remanufactured ammo, but HSL is doing everything right. So thanks for watching, guys. Comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.